We're back again, live in full effect. Welcome to Oktane Minutes Podcast, a very random, used to be a weekly podcast, now it's just hella random, but for good reason. Starting off with some personal life stuff. I have been working behind the scenes, trying to create some of the most top-notch premier wrestling product that anybody can muster in their own imagination. So, with that being said, we have State Line Wrestling coming back very soon. And the fans there, I know that the people in the places that we did run were very excited and loved to have us. And guess what? We're coming back. You're going to see us back there, taking y'all through there with this wrestling madness. So that, of course, and I have been working on music as always. I'm getting ready to almost drop the new album, Poison Hand. That'll be out everywhere very soon. And then there's another album in the works called Everybody Is Looking for Something. It is a White Tiger Universe audio cinematic venture, among other things that I'm doing. So tonight's cinematic masterpiece is a movie that I personally love, and it was so underrated. 90s sports movies, always chef's kiss, top notch, top level. While I'm checking my notes, I'm not even going to tell. Well, you already seen the title that we're covering. Blue Chips, Nick Nolte, a young rookie Shaquille O'Neal, and even younger Anthony Penny Hardaway. Matter of fact, one of the caveats of the movie was that Penny Hardaway wasn't even a pro yet, and Shaquille O'Neal ran a couple of pickup games with him on the movie set, and liked him so much and told the coach in Orlando, like, we got to do something to get this guy. Shaq was the man. He was getting hella points. Couldn't shoot no free throws, but he could slam dunk on you. He would slam dunk on you, and he would play. You couldn't come up against him up the middle, because at the time he was the only 300 pound. He was 303 pounds. You couldn't come up on him, because back then a center in the 90s and 80s, them dudes were 7 foot, but they were also like 150 pounds. They were giant string beans, and Shaq had mass behind him. So Shaq pretty much put people. He flattened a lot of guys. But they figured Shaq out pretty early. Especially with Elijah. Elijah Wan figured him out quick. Jordan probably figured everybody out quick. Shaq got the Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I think in his time he got the Rookie of the Year over who was his class? Who did he beat the guy with the Rookie of the Year for? It slips my mind. That's why we have the dictionaries online now. So I don't want to say it was Alonzo Mourning, but I could be, whatever. I don't think him and Alonzo was in the same. I think they were. They probably were, because I remember I was living in the Carolinas, and I know a lot of people liked Alonzo or something. Anyway, with Blue Chips. Pete Bell, the head coach of Western University Dolphins basketball team in Los Angeles, which is basically like a fictitious UNLV, faces mounting pressure on the program, struggles as he maintained the previous success and recruit top prospects as he seeks to attract highly regarded high school players. Bell becomes increasingly aware of the allegations that some competing college programs are providing improper financial incentives to their recruits. So basically, this is a movie that delves into more than just the sports aspect. But in the 90s, late 80s, it was an open secret, and then the 90s it got the doors blown off that a lot. The NCAA felt that players should not get any type of financial restitution for their said playing abilities. You're there for a free education. That was your pay. Don't go, and they thought that maybe that if there were boosters that were putting money in these players' hands that it would create an unfair balance in the sporting world. But here's the thing. These colleges, these institutions, were getting hundreds of millions of dollars on these kids' back, and none of those kids were guaranteed to make anything. I remember back in the day, there were kids, especially football. Football was way worse than basketball when it came to NCAA. You could be a top prospect. You get hurt, you blow your knee out, you're down in the draft. If you're even going to make it to the draft, you're probably not even going to be playing in the NFL league. You know what I'm saying? You break your leg, you're going to Canada. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go play some bullshit. You know, kids were, so, you know, you had a lot of kids that came from really destitute places. You know, if you wasn't from the most Bama backwood southern state, you were from someplace in the worst crime-ridden city, and your only opportunity, because you were so talented athletically and physically, that a lot of times they wasn't even giving these kids really, because they were so desperate to win. Because when you won, you get millions of dollars. They weren't giving these kids not even a chance to get proper education. There were some kids who were really smart. There were way more smart kids and kids who knew how to read and write that were going through the programs and did become successful human beings and humanitarians of the planet Earth. But you had a lot of people who were just so talented, and the people behind them and backing them were so desperate that they did not care about these kids getting proper education. They saw the dollar signs that some young man was going to generate for you, that they said, hey, let's just smash him over and push him through. Whatever we had to do, we had people taking tests for him. You know what I'm saying? What is his degree? African studies, or some type of social elective that he can basically, if he had to do it on his own, he could do it on his own. But you never saw any engineers come out of that. I mean, because if you're an engineer, trust me, you're not a good basketball player. If you're good at math, you suck. You sucked on the field. You wasn't doing nothing. You know what I mean? So, you know, everybody had a communications degree, whatever the hell that is. You know what I'm saying? What was that, like, just English? You know what I'm saying? Stupid. But yeah, whenever I used to see an athlete or a guy talking about something, yeah, I play basketball, but I'm going for engineering, I knew that you didn't have elite ball skills. You were garbage. I didn't want to pick you. You know what I'm saying? Go be an engineer. Go build the bridge, cocksucker. Go build the bridge, because I know you ain't gonna grab this rebound defensively. Move it on. You know, so, you know, we're using these kids who have the athletic talents and that were desperate to make a better life for themselves, man, because what else were they, you know, what else was left, you know? I mean, if you're a little country kid, you were going to be working on your daddy's failed farm, or, you know what I'm saying, you know, whatever. You know, your parents probably didn't even want you paying sports. They want you to work at the little shitty restaurant that wasn't even going to make no money. They wasn't paying you no way. They just said, well, we gave you a roof over the head. We gave you a roof over your head so you can come work for us for free. I'm like, well, you came out your daddy's nuts. You didn't have a choice, you know, whether I work at your dad's shitty Choco truck. But here we are. Here we are. You're playing baseball. Your dad didn't want you to play because he didn't think you were good enough, or he didn't. And a lot of times too, you have a lot of these parents that'll lie to their kids, like, have something to fall back on. And I know I'm delineating, but I missed y'all in podcast world for, you know, the Minutes podcast. But you had a lot of families that were like, oh well, you know, shit, man, let little Billy do his thing. I you know, but you had a lot of good parents. You know, I mean, I know you have a lot of dads that get. There's a father who gets hated on all the time, but he's an elite father. He's father of the century, to the detriment of his marriage and his own health at this point. LeVar Ball is probably one of the greatest fathers in the United States history. What man do you know got all three of his sons I mean, except for the one, Leangelo, he wanted to be a Cash Money rapper, and I think he failed at that part, but he got 2 out of the 3 in the NBA. What father do you know that said, he recognized how crooked the NCAA was? He built a semi-pro league for his sons so his sons can develop. He invested money in a team in Lithuania so his sons can have some can just have some time on the court. I mean, he was practicing he was making sure that his kids had every opportunity. He was a NFL practice squad man and a personal trainer. Bought a mansion in Chino Hills, California. Found a woman that was 6'3". He was 6'5", so he knew he was going to get some tall babies. He made sure he made some boys, and trained them. All they know is basketball, because goddamn, that middle one, he can't rap for shiznit. Someone said they bought the album. I don't even know why. I think these new rappers just make singles, but he made that tweaker shit. That tweaker shit was hot a little bit for 2 months, but someone said the rest of the album was straight ass cheeks in a plastic bag, But aside from that, Leangelo can get busy, I think he played some China. He played in China. He's pro level. He's a pro level player too. But Father of the Year, because the NCAA is crooked, and now they've lightened up, and they said that the NIL program next in line, that the kids can make money while in their studies, can make money of their likenesses, which is fair. You know what I'm saying? I was always a big proponent. Maybe the school shouldn't pay the kids as employees of the school because, when they're there to get a free education. But I think that the organization itself shouldn't be disqualifying kids for getting tryouts early, getting meetings with agents and being prospected for all these other pro teams. I don't think kids should have lost their NCAA status because of that, and especially if these schools are making hundreds of millions of dollars off the back of these kids who may not have a 100% shot guarantee at being the pros. And a lot of times, especially for football, that you had a lot of kids that were standouts, but the thing that people missed was that a lot of these football stand-ups, especially these kids that come out of the SEC, 2 caveats. The SEC kids, they never they never really had they never come out of the SEC fresh, because that conference was so competitive with so much great talent that you get beat up in the first 2 years. So a lot of them kids are 1 or 2, I mean, I think there have to be 2 now, but basketball, there was a lot of one and dones, but a lot of them kids don't want to stay in the college ranks forever, especially if they can get $30 million off of $30 million with a $5 million signing bonus. Get me the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So run like the wind, boy. Run like the wind. I think we should talk more sports. I need to be watching more ESPN and get some more of my sport watching buddies on here, and we can do this. This was actually good. I like boxing too. We might cover some boxing stuff soon. I don't know. This might be the thing. But anyway, so the movie itself, since we're gonna go into blue chips real quick. Nick Nolte was great. He was kind of like a cross between John Wooten and Bobby Knight. He had the Bobby Knight fucking temper, disposition, and then he was traveling around. He gets Shaq, who was some legendary Bama ass player in Louisiana, deep dark New Orleans, who could play ball. Then he goes and gets a kid from Chicago that was Penny Hardaway, and Penny Hardaway, of course, through this movie became an Orlando Magic and had some of the best sneakers Nike's ever produced. And then there was another guy, a white guy, who played as Ricky Rowe, and named Ricky Rowe, and that guy, Matt Nover. Matt Nover, He played in overseas more so. You know, he played in Portugal, and he was 6'8", played in Portugal, Polaris World America, Liga ABC, Sydney Kings, the NBL in Australia. So yeah, he didn't really, he didn't really amount to much. He probably was a better actor than he was a best basketball player. But shout out to that brother, man. He made his money playing the sport he loved, That was the thing I always thought about when I played. I never got tall, so I never was given an opportunity to be a blue chipper. But yeah, so, basically, it leads up to them playing Indiana. And it's just like little antics where guys were getting free houses, and they were being chased by Ed O'Neill, who was an investigative sports reporter who felt Nick Nolte's character was or Pete Bell. Yeah, I think that's what the character's name is. Was taking financial indulgences for his players, and his players were getting indulgences too, making money to take care of the family. But it was a cool movie, man. I always liked the action in that. They lowered the goals a little bit, so it made the players look more dramatic. I always noticed that in sports movies, but someone talked about. They said, "Would you join an 8.5" men's basketball league, for us little for the 5'10" guys, 5'10", 5'11" guys, where we can have opportunities to slam dunk?" And I said, yeah, I'd join that in a heartbeat. But we got to see the legendary Larry Bird in there, and Bob Cousy was in there. But there was a lot of legends in here. It was stacked, and it was cool. It was a fast-paced movie. I was watching it on Tubi, and I loved every bit of it because reasons. But Blue Chips. It's a good movie. If you ain't seen it, watch it. If you don't like sports movies, watch it. 90s sports movies are elite, and I suggest you do watch it. So, enjoy yourself with that, please. And I'm going to sign off because I want to get in here real quick, and do one of these. And I'm going to try to do more often. Hopefully, it's more sports movies. But we're also working on another podcast called Wrestlers Telling Lies. And I will be on another podcast soon here with a young lady named Veronica Stone. And I will be talking about my real life at large, which is very interesting. I have yet to tell anybody about this parts of my life. But I have a very interesting life that a lot of people don't know about. But it will be a first in August 12th or something like that. But we will see you soon. And shout out to my group chat, Shaba Sun Media. New album on the way. We still got other albums on the way. So, you can get CDs and all of that. And I'm working on trying to get vinyl. I'm just bear with me. But everybody else, I will sign off. Merci beaucoup. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. I'm top 5, good or bad, stage or lab. So swift with the vocab, friend or cousin. With these niggas telling jokes, playing dozens. Them dirty odds, especially if I got a shot. And the 30-odd in my mini hit-up plots. Put them in a plot, and my adversaries, I get the drop. Open a food truck, pass out free ones to the ops, so I can get the gist. They think they got my six. I'm trying to take the keys and unlock my destiny. Investing in the industry that made animals out of you and me and we. My family tree is crazy, RBG, flag waving. The other side be outside, see the hustle, the grind. Committed heart and mind, a wavering pressure. If you made it out the streets, God bless you, good vibes. You still thugging? Well, mama tried, you stressed her. Yeah. Go talk shit, talk it out, take the spoon, stir the pot, make a new product. Stir the pot, make a new product. Stir the pot, make a new product. The walking stick cleared the path, snakes filled the wrath. The addition that you face, you're always locked in the math. Understand this knowledge supreme. The mind makes you king, so my dream is the red heifer. Cheddar cream, the cheddar makes it all better. To serve the street veterans locked and exiled in the pile of misery. Hearing folks speculate and gamble with the mystery intrigue. I seize the castle. When the white noise is loud, the bang and the boom, it always drew a crowd. Now that I have the crown, make my foes the example. Knowledge shall lead when I'm ballin'. When you see me connect, and I'ma make you a fortune. The future is bright and luminous. Meet your doom if you think there's room for the both of us in the Florida Keys with my last couple G's. Yeah. Break it down. Go talk shit, talk now, take the spoon, stir the pot, make a new product. Stir the pot, make a new product. Go talk shit's hot, now take the spoon, stir the pot, make a new product. Stir the pot, make a new product. Stir the pot, make a new product, make a new product, make a new product.